Right now, DC's got a bit of a Batman problem. On one hand, you got Robert Pattinson, a grounded detective-style Batman that feels ripped straight from a crime thriller. On the other, there's the new DCU Batman we know is coming, supposedly older, more experienced, and part of a much bigger universe. Most people think having two live-action Batman at once is confusing, but honestly, I think it's the smartest move DC's made in years, if they play it right. Let me explain why two Batman might actually save DC, not break it. Here's where things stand. Matt Reeves' The Batman universe isn't going anywhere. We've got the Penguin series on Max and the Batman Part 2 in development slated for an October 1st, 2027 release. Reeves has made it clear this version of Gotham exists completely outside of the DCU. Meanwhile, James Gunn's DCU is rebooting the cinematic universe from the ground up, and part of that plan includes a brand new Batman in Brave and the Bold, a story that is set to introduce Damian Wayne as Robin and a Batman who's already deep into his crime fighting career. Now, we don't know much about the Brave and the Bold yet, but here's what's confirmed so far. It'll introduce Batman's biological son, Damian Wayne, a trained assassin raised by the League of Shadows. This isn't a reboot origin, it's an established Batman, older and more complex. James Gunn called it the start of the live-action Bat family, something the DCEU never really delivered. But right now, the project's in flux. Andy Muschietti, the director of The Flash, yes, that Flash, was attached, but since the DCU slate keeps shifting, it's unclear if he's still on board, and everything's still in motion. So the Brave and the Bold sits in this weird spot. It's supposed to define Batman's place in the new DCU, but we're still waiting to see who's steering that ship. Having two live-action Batman actually makes perfect sense, because that's how Batman's been handled in the comics for decades. You've got Detective Comics, gritty, methodical, and street level. That's Matt Reeves' world. His Gotham isn't a playground for superheroes, it's a crime-ridden city that feels real. The violence hits hard, the shadows feel heavy, and Bruce isn't just a man trying to understand his mission. Then you've got the mainline Batman run, the bigger, more fantastical stories. That's where the DCU Batman fits in. This is the one who's already fought monsters, traveled through time, and stood shoulder to shoulder with God. The DCU version gives us a chance to see Batman in his full comic book form, facing villains like Clayface, Man-Bat, or Mr. Freeze without having to ground them in realism. We can see Gotham through a comic book lens again, stylized, dangerous, and alive, a character in and of itself. So instead of two Batmen competing, we're really getting two complementary visions, one built for noir and realism, the other for spectacle and scale. Both sides of Batman that have always existed. The detective and the legend. These two Batman just don't look different, they mean different things. Pattinson's Batman is about isolation, a man still defining what justice means. His story's personal, slow, and brutally honest. The DCU Batman is about legacy, a father figure trying to balance family and heroism in a world full of impossible odds. One is reimagining Gotham from the ground up, the other is trying to hold an entire world together. They're telling two sides of the same truth, one about becoming Batman and one about being him. And this split might actually be what saves DC. Instead of trying to force every story into one shared tone, DC can finally embrace what I think has been missing from the comic book movie space for years: variety. Reeves can keep his universe grounded and emotional, slow burn storytelling that dives into the character, and meanwhile the DCU can be bold, colorful, and comic booky, massive set pieces, wild villains, and crossover potential. It gives directors more freedom, lets the audience choose what tone they prefer, and proves DC doesn't need to copy Marvel's one-size-fits-all formula. It's like getting two flavors of Batman that both taste authentic, and honestly, that's never been a bad thing. The only real danger here is clarity. DC has to make it clear that these are two separate worlds. The tone, the visuals, even the marketing, it all needs to scream which Batman you're watching. If they blur the lines, audiences can get confused, but if they commit to contrast, this could be the best of both worlds. One of the easiest ways to tell them apart would be through the suit. Pattinson's armor looks hand-built, like something forged in a garage between sleepless nights. You can see the weight, the wear, the desperation. It's a suit made for survival, not style. The DCU Batman, on the other hand, can finally go bold. The suit can be slicker, almost mythic, closer to the comics. Think dark blue and gray, a bigger chest emblem, maybe even the classic white eyes. His armor should feel iconic, not improvised. The suits alone can tell you what story you're in. One's a crime saga, the other's a legend. Another thing that the DCU Batman can do that Matt Reeves can't, at least not without breaking its tone, is lean into horror. Reeves' Gotham is grounded in realism. It's unsettling, but it's human. Serial killers, corruption, decay. The DCU's Batman, on the other hand, can stare directly into the supernatural and the monstrous. Imagine Clayface not as a campy villain, but as a tragic body horror character. A failed actor who literally melts under the weight of his own obsession with fame. That's Cronenberg level material that could hit hard in a PG-13 or R-rated superhero movie. And beyond that, The Court of Owls, a secret society of Gotham's elite, silently ruling the city from the shadows for centuries, sending undead assassins called Talons to eliminate threats. They're part horror, part conspiracy, and they fit perfectly in a more heightened Gotham that still feels mythic. Bringing them into the DCU would finally explore Gotham as something ancient and cursed, a city with bones deeper than any one man in a cape. That's horror with purpose. That's the kind that builds world and legacy. And speaking of commitment, let's talk about what the Batman Part 2 might look like. Reeves has teased that the sequel will dive deeper into Gotham's corruption and Bruce's evolution as a symbol. Rumors hint at villains like Hush or Clayface, in a story that's even more psychological than the first film. Picture a Batman who's no longer vengeance, but justice, a man who's still haunted but finally understands why he fights. That's what makes this version powerful. It's focused, unconnected, and unapologetically human. That's all I've got for this one. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Do you think two live-action Batman can exist at the same time, or is one bound to overshadow the other? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear what you think.